Elon Musk predicts universal high income from AI, and the critics aren't buying it. Microsoft will split teams from Office globally after an EU antitrust deal. Apple is the next to look at 5G from the skies, and things are getting tense at OpenAI as their restructuring appears to stall. Welcome to #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Elon Musk is once again making bold predictions about the future of artificial intelligence and work. Responding to a tweet suggesting robots could take all jobs by 2030, Musk agreed, even saying that one day intelligent robots might outnumber humans, giving everyone their own personal assistant. Which leads to the question, what happens to people when jobs disappear? Musk's answer? A future of universal high income, where basic needs like food, housing, and healthcare are guaranteed. Critics, though, are quick to push back. As one commentator put it bluntly, why the hell would any of that happen? They point to current reality, cuts to social safety nets like Medicaid and food assistance in the U.S., and corporations paying less tax, not more. Musk argues automation will boost corporate profits and therefore government revenue. But skeptics note that tax cuts and falling income tax from a jobless workforce paint a very different picture. Without systemic change, they say, abundance won't just appear. It would require new regulation and higher corporate taxes, not less. And here's the sticking point. Right now, the top 1% of Americans already control over 30% of the nation's wealth, while the bottom half of the population holds barely 2.5%. Given that level of inequality, however you feel about it, and the political resistance that there's bound to be to redistribution, where is the impetus suddenly going to come from to fund this universal high income? Microsoft has just struck a deal with EU regulators where it will unbundle Teams, the chat and video app, from its Office and Microsoft 365 productivity suites. In Europe, Microsoft must now offer versions of Office without Teams at reduced prices. Existing long-term license holders can switch, and Microsoft has agreed to improve interoperability with rival platforms and make Teams messaging data easier to support. But this isn't staying in Europe. Microsoft said it will apply the same model globally. That means businesses everywhere will soon see versions of Office that don't force Teams onto users, along with clearer pricing and more openness across communications platforms. Once more, the EU has taken a leadership role, ensuring that users worldwide get more choice and cheaper options by not having to pay for bundled apps they don't need or want. And it sets a precedent that could reshape how big tech packages its services in the future. Apple may be the latest company preparing to look at mobile coverage in the stratosphere. Its satellite partner Globalstar has asked U.S. regulators to test high-altitude drones that could beam 5G services directly to phones. If it works, your iPhone could get a real 5G signal even where there are no towers, rural areas, disaster zones, or just regions where carriers have had problems placing towers. And this could be bigger than just 5G. At the same time as this is happening, researchers in the U.S. and China have developed what they call a full-spectrum 6G chip. It can operate from 0.5 gigahertz all the way up to 110 gigahertz, shifting across bands dynamically to avoid interference, one of the key elements in 5G. In lab tests, it moved data at over 100 gigabits per second. That's thousands of times faster than many of today's 5G connections. Together, these advances point towards a future where mobile services are everywhere and hardware is ready to handle speeds far beyond what we see now. And it comes right on the heels of Elon Musk musing about extending 5G services directly to phones from Starlink. Apple and Globalstar may be getting there first. And with 6G chips already showing what's possible, this is a space to watch. OpenAI executives are reportedly getting a little tense as the company pushes ahead with plans to restructure into a more conventional for-profit entity. On paper, OpenAI remains a non-profit, but its chosen path, building ever larger AI systems while chasing the biggest global market share of free and paid users, is brutally expensive. That scale demands capital, and capital almost certainly requires equity in a for-profit structure. So any plan would give OpenAI's nonprofit parent a large equity stake, but opening the door to deeper investment from Microsoft and others. But it's meeting with fierce resistance. A coalition of tech companies, NGOs, nonprofits, and labor groups in California and Delaware are lobbying state attorneys general to block the move. They argue it violates corporate law, specifically a statute requiring nonprofits to protect assets held in a charitable trust, which in this case could include ChatGPT itself. Critics are also lining up on another front, accusing OpenAI of failing to protect the public from the influence of AI chatbots. And behind the scenes, there are even rumors that the company could play hardball, threaten to move out of California altogether. This would have enormous consequences for a state whose $4.1 trillion economy is now the fourth largest in the world, powered heavily by the tech sector and by AI in particular. So while this restructuring story isn't dominating the headlines yet, it's a runaway freight train headed for a collision. And it can have a big impact, bigger than any new model launch, reshaping not just OpenAI, but maybe the regulatory and economic landscape for AI worldwide. And that's our show. If you like what we're doing, please share the show with others. Give us a like or comment on your favorite podcast app or site. We are found everywhere: Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and more. We're back on your Alexa speakers and Google as well. Fingers crossed, but we seem to be doing well. We'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at technewsday.ca or .com. Just go to the Contact Us page. And while you're there, if you'd like to support what we're doing, please, please, please go to the Donate tab and consider contributing just the cost of a cup of coffee per month to support the show. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you like it, leave a comment under the video and subscribe to the podcast. Your contributions would also be gratefully accepted as well. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a marvelous Monday.